Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is G. Cole, and welcome to Homegrown, where we share with you some good music while talking to some great people. Hello world, hope you're feeling as good as I am. I want to big up all my homegrown listeners out there and welcome all the new listeners. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so we can keep you updated when new material is available. We will be posting new episodes bi-weekly. Want to thank everyone who has been listening and sharing. Please leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Please check out the website homegrownwithgcole.com to listen and for all things homegrown. The podcast is available on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Radio.com, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast. We are there. We're also very interactive. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at MyGCole. The video of this interview is also available on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is episode 144, and today's special guest is a veteran broadcaster. One of the dope ones, one of the ones I grew up listening to, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the man himself, the captain, Mr. Collin Hines. Legendary broadcaster from Fame FM. We're going to get in. We're going to talk some things, all right? This episode comes to you courtesy of the latest release from yours truly. It's called She Said. Now, you can go over to bandcamp.com and put in G Cole and search the catalog. There's albums up there. There's singles up there. Go ahead and check out the catalog, all right? She's moved on. I've moved on. That's all good. Just a girl up the block that was hot, that I crushed on a lot. We were kids, so the vibe that we had for each other was crazy intense. But we did from the people around us, they never could find out the things that we did. So we kept it a secret that no one could find out. Now look ahead of you, I know your story and the way you used to be. Oh girl, you know me. We've been cool since. Ladies and gentlemen. Again, I grew up in Ocho, Jamaica. I'm a lover of radio till this day. Just love what radio brings. I mean, yeah, I got some playlists and whatnot, but playlists and radio are not the same. The energy ain't the same. I'm not the best DJ in the world, so I might not pick the best music either. You know what I mean? So I depend on the curators of the craft to put the right thing out there for me and put it in context and content. And to me, sometimes the context, the content, the ride, the whole vibe, the energy is a lot more than just the songs, right? And I think sometimes we don't even understand how the process of radio works, whether it be Jamaica, here in the international sphere. So we got an opportunity today. We're going on the other side of the microphone. We're chopping it up with one of the best, the iconic. I got something special if I ask, but I just gonna start off the bat like this. First of all, the captain, Sir Collin Hines, is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. The captain himself. What going on, fam?
Big up yourself, brother. I'm here. Good to be here.
Pleasure. Now, I grew up listening to you on radio. So on our way. That's what I'm saying. I want to start that way. And I mean, you know what? I'm going to move this because you got some fans. I'm on the fans next to me. Yeah. I knew that. We're good.
Good.
So I grew up listening to you on the radio, right? I got gray hair. I lost all of mine. I got things has changed in the years for me. You don't look no different. So first of all, I start.
I got some gray hairs, boy.
You got some evidence of tenure?
Yeah. Been missing the barber, man.
Welcome. Radio. It's a heck of a thing. I've been hearing for a long time how radio going away and I got
radio, the kids think it's dead. It's a generation now who thinks it's, well, we're coming over, we're listening to radio. We're flipping between satellite radio, Sirius XM, and regular radio. Radio isn't going anywhere.
Right.
But I know there's a generation of people, especially Gen Z, who think the world doesn't exist outside of YouTube and Spotify and social media.
Right.
Radio is alive, and it's going to be around at minimum for another 2 generations.
Wow.
I don't see it going anywhere right now because radio is, you referenced playlisting. A playlist is locked. It's pretty much immobile. It is what is there unless you refresh it. Radio happens in the moment. It is ephemeral, it's transitory, it is ongoing, it is live. Yeah.
In real time.
In real time. Yeah.
The thing I find profound is from the time that they've been saying that radio is going away, right? The amount of radio stations, I think they said, increased by about 60%. From then, I know.
And online as well. So
and online. Because most radio the online presence that people speak of so much, they don't realize that the growth of online radio is because radio ain't going nowhere. Radio just has adopted a presence online too.
Yeah, it's morphing into a slightly different beast, and it needs to. I've always maintained that your brick and mortar radio station needs another transmitter, and that transmitter is a social media, the internet, and radio stations that have robust online presence are always going to be survivors in the game.
Wow.
If people can access your content, podcasting, real-time streaming of what is radio is no longer audio, but it has to become audiovisual. You need cameras in your studio.
Right.
You see it all over, in America. Some of the more popular radio stations have this stuff. You can go and look at it afterwards, and you can watch it in real time.
Wow.
So it's not just about the transistor on your shoulder or people turning on that thing and going kirk, 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 and tuning. It's now become, it has to.
Yeah.
The good ones will understand how to use the modern tools to accentuate their product.
I dig that. It's funny you speak of that, because when we talk about radio itself, especially over the last 5, 6, 7 years, right? Some radio presence that we see right now that are huge, especially in the island, Jamaica, didn't exist 7, 8 years ago. And right now they've got a world and international presence. And you talk about that whole merger of the airwaves and the cameras. I remember when DJs, like sound system DJs, used to tell me that they weren't comfortable with the shift when music was changing from vinyl to CD. They weren't comfortable when it was changing from CD going into the MP3 vibe. But as a person on radio, did you accept it right away that, something, damn, we need to make sure that we're evolving. We're not changing how we get the music out, but we need these optics.
To survive, you have to adapt. You have to adapt. You can't garner the days. I know practitioners who flatly refuse to buy a laptop. And word to you, you're going to fade into oblivion. No, I'm dead serious. Nobody cares about the fact that you're putting the needle on a record. They just want to hear you offer good content.
Right.
Whether you're using turntables, whether you're using a DJ controller. And so as somebody who grew up as a kid seeing people play music on an 8-track tape, a Gen X youth who can identify with Spotify and 8-track.
Right.
You've realized that we move through Walkman, this man, that the man, to something on your phone, which is MP3 man.
Right. Literally.
MP3 man, which
and you have Bluetooth in the airwaves now.
And music content stuff has become, music, for example, has moved from being physical to zeros and ones on your phone.
Yeah.
It's not so. It's about adapting and incorporating whatever advances there are, using the best elements of it in a quality and standard best practice way.
Right.
To continue to affect your craft.
Right.
I dig so that. Those who refuse to
evolve
with the times, all right, stay on the sideline and wave bye-bye.
Yeah, the times will evolve without you.
Stay on the sidelines and wave bye-bye. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain himself, Collin Hines. We talk again about radio, we talk about music, we talk about the whole evolution. With the evolution of, MP3 and all that stuff, it also makes it easier more cost effective for people to make music. The byproduct of that sometimes is a compromise of quality. And when we talk quality, it's relative, because sometimes people talk about the production quality. Truth be told, some of our biggest hits, aren't the best produced. Some of our best produced never become the biggest hits, right? Mm-hmm. But how do you, when you get a song, when somebody sends something over to you and say, hey, listen to this, man. Can you tell? I ask the artists sometimes, they say yay, they say nay. Can you tell when you hear something and say, this is something special and something's going to happen here? Or is it just, hey, I don't know, it sounds good to me, but we'll see what the world has to say?
No, you still can. I think it's more difficult now to predict what is going to grab a hold of the human ear and the human spirit. There's so many different points of dissemination. If you take, for example, Jamaica, it was 2 radio stations, then many. It was the disc jockey going to the record shop and buying the record first. Right. It was the DJ who was the first to play it. And others caught on because he played. Now, we're not even in a foot race anymore with the consumer. Oftentimes, you are picking up on something which is kind of buzzing because it's already on YouTube.
Right.
So the whole dynamic of how content is disseminated and how it is consumed has changed.
Right.
For the better or the worse, who knows? But you also still have the ability to discern that nobody can take away from. Trash is trash.
Right.
And I guess it's personal, but oftentimes as somebody who is in the dissemination of content, if it don't strike a chord with you, then all those like you, which number millions,
right,
probably won't like it as well. And you, over time, I know, for example, in my craft, over time, you developed a set of checks and balances, indexes, metrics, whatever you want to call it, to assess or attest whether something is worth it or not, and whether you can tell whether something is badly produced, whether somebody has sing off key, whether or not something is poorly written or was rushed, whether or not the production quality is a really well finished work, or whether or not somebody just quickly balanced something and was knocking 2 pans and recording it into a computer in the bathroom and put it out there. A lot of half-baked crap.
Right.
And make it. A lot of half-baked crap become popular simply because gatekeeping, they get pretty much get kicked down, and people have more places from which to select what they want. And social media is also very good at promulgating and promoting quality equally as well as foolishness.
Yeah, that's true. That's
I mean, in terms of music, some want to say, like, make it momentarily on the street, in the parties, in people's consciousness. Only the good stuff lasts.
Right. And I think that's the part that they miss out on, the whole longevity.
Only the good stuff lasts. So yeah, I used to have a hot song and it's on trending on YouTube. And 3 months later, neither I nor 2 other fellow DJs in the room here are playing it.
Right.
Poof, it gone.
Yeah.
I'm just coming off Welcome to Jamrock Cruise. I can remember 2 modern songs
that was
being played. No, Welcome to Jamrock is predominantly, it may be 60% Gen X people. Those born 1965 to about 81. It may have been 25% millennials and 15% baby boomers. But you're talking people from age late 20s up to 60, 70, whatever.
Right.
And the dominant music is that which you grew up on.
Right.
And my soul was fed on.
Right.
There was a start. Now, look, maybe there is an audience for the no content that would dominate, but it's not translating a lot of the stuff doesn't translate well into longevity.
Yeah.
And like I said, on Welcome to Jamrock, there may have been 2 or 3 current songs that you heard played by young DJs and grown DJs alike throughout that 5 days. Not going to say which songs, because really but yeah, so there is, you can't trick the human ear and you can't trick the soul. A good song will be a good song. Irrespective of whether it's a oldster do it or as a kid do it. If it's a good song, people are naturally going to like. There's a reason why Drift is a good song.
Yeah.
It's catchy. Yeah. It's fun. It invites everybody to. There's a reason why Tyrant by Massacre. And then there's a reason why Artist X has made 50 songs in the last 6 months. I will probably remember 1 out of the 50. You go on YouTube now, he's probably number 8 and trending.
5 days.
And 3 weeks' time, he's number 8 and trending again with an equally another forgettable song.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So, you know.
They can't trick the algorithm, but they can't trick the people.
Yeah. And people will go rave for something for a minute and then move on. It's like fast food. There's just not a lot that stay with you and that stay in the soul.
It's amazing you said that, you know, because I had a conversation some time back, sometimes maybe a year ago, with some folks from mainstream radio, right? Because we always speak about the fact that half the issues, we don't have mainstream radio stations with popular or with permanent reggae and dancehall placement, right? You might have 7 days a week and somebody's on for 1 day for 4 or 5 hours. Right. And even then, they've got to balance the entire sphere of people who are listening to that genre, which 9 times out of 10 them will play the bobs and play the usual stuff, because you can't go wrong with that, right? But I had somebody from mainstream radio say, music is being played. The issue is, it's the same songs for the last 20 years. Right now, if I drive into a new city that I have not been in, and I dial into a radio station, and them start playing some Jamaican music, it's going to be some Sean Paul. It's going to be Wayne Wonder, No Letting Go. You know what I mean? There's going to be some Egyptian. It's the same stuff all over, right? And it's from a certain time frame.
Yeah.
Now, you may have some DJ that want to be current and them say, yo, may I throw on some Baron Messiah or whatever the case may be. But I've also heard the conversation of the artists that I've sat down and watched interviews with that were supposed to be the biggest things in the last 12 months. Now, I haven't seen them in 12 months.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the disposability of the artists, not even just the music, you know, but the artists is what is a big problem. How big of an issue is that on the airwaves for you there, trying to find quality music to give to the people while staying current?
It's crazy. You oftentimes question, you feel guilty. You know you're playing something that, this is really and truly, but yeah, it's playable. You divorce your personal feelings from the music because you have to do that to remain in the loop. You can't say because me not like that, I'm gonna like the artist, I don't like, except I'm not a big fan of trap dancehall. Right. Will never be. Right. But you listen to my radio show where I play current stuff, I sift out and I pick the better ones and play it. I know jolly well in the back of my mind that 3 months later, I may not be playing half of these tracks. Right. But it is what it is. As a practitioner of the craft, you also have to be playing stuff because music is being replenished by the youths. So finding stuff that lasts is more of a challenge. There isn't a lot that comes and stay in the place that you say, all right, 6 months later, 2 years later, I'm gonna be playing this. I'll pick a random song, Conscience Broke Off Your Back. We're still playing it on the radio. Of course, yeah. Because there is the intangible that makes it a good song. You can't tell whether it is because it's Birch met the rhythm or how Conscience DJ. The composite whole makes it a good feeling and a good piece of art that people can relate to. what we're finding is it's almost like you're living in an asteroid belt where music is concerned, where that kind of, it's just flying left, right, and center. Every day is 50 million different pieces.
Yep.
So it's becoming harder and harder to pick the ones I see. And the current state of, let's say, dancehall music, all the songs sound the same.
Yep.
The predominant trend in terms of beats and grooves is this very lazy, unsophisticated, something what them call trap dancehall that lacks musicality.
Right.
It's a booming kick drum, some triplet hi-hat things with a lot of empty space. There's a song by an artist that said that the music boring and it not have no flooring.
Right.
The predominant sound, and I say predominant sound because there are people making good rubber dubbish melodic and instrument and songs with free dancehall music. But the predominant sound, all of the current hot artists, they shy away from that which predates them.
Right.
Anything that they consider an elder made, they don't want to have anything to do with it. And so they've been pressing for the last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years with this new thing. It's not breaking.
It's not going away.
It's not breaking. And every time you criticize and push back, there's an enabler like yourself and me who's saying, "Loud the youth, them are feeling thing." Well, we're part of the problem.
Yeah.
Because we should not be embarrassed to say, "Oi, effing up dancehall music, screwing up the business without feeling guilty or without feeling embarrassed because the youth them say, fight to not fight we, or because somebody our age is going to be saying, loud the youth them." We should feel free to criticize. Yeah. And this crap about a same thing used to happen to me when media, no. Right. Artist X who is in his 40s and 50s. Now, the reason we're having this conversation about the state of the music right now is a turning point, because at no point in my life were we having a discussion about dancehall and reggae music as a crisis. You think back about it. Yeah. When did we have this prolonged when Chaka Demus did Bad Chaka? No, we never did.
I don't recall.
When Stephen McGregor came in as a young kid and the beats got to 121, it still felt like dancehall. We never had. We were saying 4 or 5 minutes. We said it fast, but it was still dancer. Now we have a sound which dominates, because, like I said, and please note this, there's still classic, bouncy, modern sound. Nobody's trying to make back the 90s. Modern sound in dancehall music that's still being, but the dominant sound like wishy-washy, spawned from weak sperm American hip-hop. It is B, C, D, E, F, G rated hip-hop.
Right.
That, and if you mute the artist's voice, you can do nothing with it. If you put on the Wally rhythm right now, not because it has been colored by vintage and age and real.
It's true.
But if you put on the Wally rhythm right now, it's a song. The rhythm itself is
the instrumental.
You put on Showtime, it is a song. If you put on Street Sweeper by Steely and Clevie, if you put on Playground Rhythm by Jeremy Harding,
just the rhythm.
If you put on Punani Rhythm,
which is even older, just the rhythm.
If you put on General Rhythm, Real Rock Rhythm, all of these things, they have character, they have color, they have musicality. I challenge any one of you to name something that came out in the last 3 years that has nice, catchy phrases, interesting bass lines, and drums and groove that you can actually step to. You're going to the parties, everybody's like this. There was a time the music lacks bubble, it lacks skank, it lacks rubber dub. Dancehall music supposed to do 1 or 2 or 3 things. It's supposed to make woman cock up and whine.
Yep.
It's supposed to make rude boy do so.
Yep.
And it's supposed to make them draw near to a catty and bubbler.
None of that now go on.
Most of what is being made now by your favorite artist does not do that, to the point where if a rhythm comes out that actually has a few drums that may hint at something from the mid to early 2000s, back to the 80s to the 90s, everybody, yes, dancehall is back. No, it's just one something that kind of sound like it.
That's true. That's true.
The young practitioners are stubborn. I guess they are ambitious, but they are stubborn. They sneer and snub and thumb them nose at everything that predates them, and they complain a lot that the elders them now. Well,
now give them a shine.
You know how I learned from those who preceded me? I watched,
right?
I asked, and I sought knowledge.
Right.
I have found that the artists who often a lot of them, boy, the elders them and I've heard in bloggers and hosts on TV. Yeah, but sometimes the big man them are run with it. Shut the hell up. Ain't no big man artist running no youths.
Right. I hear it all the time.
A lot of the young artists now have no intention because they are so proud and stubborn, in ignorance. And it's beyond them to even go back and listen to that which predates them, and to take a pattern off it. Our saving grace is always balanced. Is that there is a set of youth, especially on the reggae side, and we know them.
Yeah, same names.
From Romain to Protege to Chronix to Jesse Royal to all of these youth who, yes, they do experience. I will make some like a hybrid thing because hybrid dancehall, that stuff has always existed. From acoustic guitar to when Dave Kelly made Bug, it was your typical dancehall rhythm. But guess what it had? Rubber dub.
Yeah. You can dance.
So we're not knocking variety and changes and anything like that. But when what we have existing now is just simply, you have to say, wait, but that doesn't sound like dancehall. That's hip hop.
But that's what the gripe is from the hip hop community too. Because what I've seen in the last, I'd say 10 years, is us. I want to say us, the artists, seeking validation from the North American, from the hip hop community, right, with the music they're making. But the truth is, large percent of Grams said, "Truth, fire." The thing is, if you give, let's flip it around, the same way how we will not accept half-baked faux reggae and dancehall. We snare at it, right? Because it ain't a real thing. Why would we think that the hip-hop community or the R&B community is going to take faux hip-hop, faux R&B from us just because we want to give it to them? You know what I mean? And I think that's where the gripe comes now. You mentioned something earlier in terms of what we call groovability, right? Because when I go in a dance right about now, you're so right. There is such a segregation at the dance hall, which I think is created by the music. I remember growing up when music was just music, and yes, the content was some things Killer gear, some things with the bad man, but him also have the girl tune them or whatever the case may be. You have segments at dance hall right about now when them have a segment and say, yes, our bad man time, yes, our girl tune, and so them call it, right? But it's just because you can't dance to it, right? About now, you know, when you watch white people dance and you feel like the thing not connect, I think that's where we're going with our music, because right when they're in our pocket and feel they can bob to it, the thing change.
I said this on,
you know what I mean?
I said this on radio back home, on Fame, one Friday morning. I had a rant about it. Badman tune been making from time immemorial. Nobody can point a finger at any of the now youths and say, you're changing music in that aspect. Girl tune, politics tune, kill so and so people and rare. The subject matters have remained the same, basically. You name the greatest dancehall or reggae artists, they've been singing about some of these stuff. The things that the legendary reggae artists have sung about, Chronix, Protege, Chris Martin, and all of these youths who, like I said, are the balance. Thank God for them. And thank God for the few dancehall artists who still want to jump on that classic song. Those subject matters They've been singing about them.
Yeah, ain't nothing new.
So that not what has changed with the dancehall aspect of our music in Jamaica is the beat.
Yeah.
It's the beat maker.
So the producer. So let me ask you this, even before we go down this, all right? Because I've heard a lot of every time something goes left or goes wrong, right? Then start point out the artist. And I got a lot of flack for this one time by saying some people who are getting away with holy murder out here, unscathed, are the producers.
Yeah. You make only that beat for Valiant. After a while, he will hesitate and it's going to take a slow turn. Once, I believe that young artists, you give them real, just beats with character. Something that if you take out their voice and play it, it will invite the feet to move and to step. It will just invite the human spirit to just bob and weave. It is the beat maker who changed the game.
Right.
The subject matters. The artist has become a little bit more graphic.
Right.
You hear all sorts about woman throat and so on and so. Okay, so maybe that's a consequence of time evolving. You may say, well, doesn't that apply to the beat? No. What happened is that you completely broke the skeleton of Jamaican music to an unrecognizable point. Remember, man, I still sing about love to woman, about objectifying women, about saluting and healing women, about injustice, about social issues. The subject matter remains the same. The beat is what has taken a complete 90 degrees to the point where we're having this prolonged conversation about it. When Rocksteady emerged into reggae and rockers and digital in 1985, and the music kept evolving. When it became up tempo, very high, fast paced, but still have that element of reggae and dancehall in it till it slowed back down. In the 2000s,
One drop era.
Exactly. We never had this quarrel.
Nope.
And even the older generation, them slack and why the music so fast?
Right.
A quick complaint and move on.
Yeah.
Because it was still a recognizably Jamaican product. Once again, I challenge anybody to play X song and tell me that is dancehall. To the point now where a popular young producer has revised one of his rhythms from 2010. He's now voicing people on it. Change up something, make it a little bit more modern.
Right.
And everybody is now on social media raving about, yo, that artist, I forget this.
I saw that.
But it's either 2010, 2011, 2012 that rhythm was made.
Right.
It was dancehall.
Yep.
By a youth who know dancehall.
Yeah.
So, all I'm saying is, grown-ups, be concerned. And we shouldn't be embarrassed to push back and say, oi, this now work and now screw up the business. Simply because people will say, bad mind the youth. I care zero.
Yeah.
I care zero. This is our culture. And when the external marketplace is saying, what's going on over here? What I do?
And they've already started to respond to that. They
don't want to hear hip-hop from Jamaica.
Not fake hip-hop.
Not fake hip-hop.
Yeah.
And nobody minds the odd project incorporating other because I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
Incorporate other elements. But if it sounds unrecognizable as Jamaican music, the only thing on some of these songs is the patois accent.
And even that I go to. Because here's the thing I've found. Anytime I've given hip hop, dancehall rhythm to a American or a hip hop artist, them try go Jamaican on it, right? And I find that it's the same thing because these rhythms are so not reggae, not dancehall. Even the content, some of the vernacular, some of the things that the people might talk about, it's not even our stuff. The verbiage, it sounds very American, right? So it's no different from you hearing somebody trying to talk with an American accent that's not from what we call twang at the panchano, brother. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I feel. when I hear a lot of that music. Now, let me ask you this. Back in the day, especially people who are in the dance hall, right?
Yeah.
But radio too, would take pride in saying, even though I lie to myself, I'm a boss artist, right? Because I'm on 95% here, so boss one artist.
Right.
All right. Does radio, do DJs or broadcasters have that capability anymore?
Less, much less. Because there are way too many marketplaces set up stall where you can go and pick your content from.
Right.
The average kid, we have to accept, unless he's driving with his parents in the radio, that's not his first choice to go pick a song. It's on either DSP or something that comes up on his phone. A lot of artists refuse to make radio versions for their songs because they are of the belief that once it out, yeah, so it good. A lot of artists no longer send the record first
To radio.
to the DJ or to radio. They put it on their Vivo channel or put it on their social media. It's just something we have to accept. So unless you're working for what is still a prominent, world recognized and respected radio station, and you pick up something which was underground, and by repeatedly playing it, it becomes associated with you, then you're not really boss nobody. Radio is now one of the points of dissemination, not the point of. It's no longer the days of recording a cassette off a radio.
Right.
Nah, you got Spotify, so we have just become another of the shops. Right. And with all of that, all these choices out there, it's harder for a DJ or for a radio station to become associated with breaking. And that's just a natural consequence of time evolving and the business changing. Back in the 90s when I started on radio, there weren't that many radio stations. We didn't have all of this stuff. I started radio, cell phones were just being, really modernized and so on. We never knew anything about YouTube and these things. So you could get, the stories often told, and it's a true story, about bounty killers' look. That I played it 3 evenings, 1 week. And the Sunday of that week, he absolutely flattened Sharon Burton, something over Fort Clarence. What was the name of it again? Fully Loaded.
Fully loaded.
The clip is there on YouTube.
Yeah.
When he drew that on stage, and that was after 3 days of spinning. I played it, and a couple of the fellows played it because there was only one copy of it on dub plate. So I'd play it, and the next radio station would play that. Of course, that was then.
Right.
That was then. A song comes out now.
Everybody got it.
The consumer often gets it. Before, yeah. No, so the only way you break an artist is if he's an unknown and you on your personal pages and on your show and you post stuff and it catches on. That's the only way. But but radio is very important in sustaining and in bringing into the ears of the regular mom and pop crowd who not into all of that, who may not be hunting music on. So if a song is good, radio will play it, start playing it around the first time it start to buzz. But who is going to keep playing it 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, a year, 2 years later? Radio. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing looking at it that way, because we talk about the importance of the DSPs and the Spotifys and all them things, right? I find that yes, we see a lot of artists buzzing on YouTube and on social media, way more than at least they think they are on radio. But when I go to concerts and festivals and overall shows, the artism when me see on the show is the artism with on radio. Right? So a lot of those artists that I'm going to sing on the shows, those are the records I'm hearing on the radio. So how are people going to tell me that radio doesn't have an impact?
It's so convoluted that an artist will have, or somebody in the entertainment thing will have 5 million people on following them on all of these platforms, and you drop a record, you sell 300 copy. So that part,
The math.
I can't explain it, but it really is weird. Are people buying your art? Are they true fans? Can you pull 3,000 people into a club? Can you ram a stadium? Will people put down what they're doing, hear that you're performing down the street, and pay to get in? They do for Beres Hammond, who, at his age, still shoulders a significant portion of the Jamaican music and live entertainment industry on his slender shoulders.
Beres.
And we hope he lives forever.
Beres.
Because how many has that pulling? And we have some artists who are now growing into that. We know them. We call their names before. And most of them are on the reggae side. People will pay to go and see a concert where you have Bounty Killer, Baby Sham, Beanie Man, Buju, so on and so on and so on and so forth. And a lot of these guys you have, for example, Dexter Daps, who had 3 successful shows in Jamaica. So everything pivots around what kind of music you make. Alkaline has done it as well.
Yeah.
So it still shows that if you are making great music and something that hits people and connects with people, but is not a lot of the current generation are growing in that direction. And I just find that oftentimes I think of when I see an artist putting out 20 songs in 2 months, I compare it to a stud farm. Every mirror you see, you jump on it. And none is sticking. So what I encourage youngsters to do is to go back, look at what these other guys, look at what your contemporaries are doing. And try to figure out how to get quality over quantity. Stop making the same song 10 times.
Right.
You just get up, somebody send a lazy ass beat come give you, and you voice the same girl song, but you change up a couple words. Right.
Yep. Like R. Kelly albums.
The business eventually is going to grade you.
Yeah.
And when you are announced to perform here, and it's 200 people turn up,
then I'm saying. But the proof is in the pudding, you know. And you mentioned, again, got to give respect to people like a Beres Hammond. Beres Hammond to me is a once in a lifetime enigma. There are many other legends, but Beres is the only person I see that has a tour, a North American tour. Most places that he stops is 2 nights, and they're all sold out. And that's predominantly the diaspora, right? So majority of our other artists, you know, they're worth their weight, but Beres is a different animal.
And I'll say this: the reggae practitioners, look, Protege full up venues, big, massive, open field venues in Kingston. Chronics did the same. So
names.
We have some young heavyweights in the business.
Yeah.
But there are so many.
Are you concerned?
I am concerned. But like I said, I'm also encouraged by the fact that for as much futility that there is, there's some sort of a balance by the aforementioned. mention, and you might think I'm knocking the young artists, we just big up Dexter Daps and his show. So there are youngsters who get it.
Yeah.
But they're not in the majority. We want to see more of these young men who are making music have people around them to plot a chart and chart their careers going forward, to having them stop just jumping on just these random lazy beats, to have them understand the business, to take this thing, just get up and just voice the same song but the same lazy trap dancehall beat. It something's got to give.
I wonder if we're just not on the same mission. Our the artists are not on the same mission. I feel like the elders, and it's funny enough, I can refer to, I'm almost referring to Tarswell as an elder nowadays, right? Because of how he's done what he's done.
Right.
But those artists to me were on a mission to make music, get the music to the world, and that was going to be their craft. I feel like a lot of the artists that are in the game right now, the upcomers, not necessarily in it for that. It's kind of like, okay,
some of them rich before them turn artists.
Exactly.
So
they don't need that. Them just need that. Them just want some endorphins released by 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 views and clicks and likes, right? Because here's the funny thing about it. We talk about tricking the algorithms. I remember seeing some artists that were huge YouTube stars and sensations, and I started saying to myself, if you are a YouTube star and sensation, you have millions of followers and views, then how come I've never seen you on a live show? Whether in person or YouTube or whatever the case may be. The song has racked up the millions of views, but when we look you up as live performance, it's nowhere. Which ultimately means those views and likes are bought.
Can you full a venue? That's my question. And you know what? The shameful thing is, the interesting thing is that we have a lot of these artists who we are, in a way, criticizing right now. A lot of them are really talented.
Very much so. Especially as a performer.
Very talented. They have so much potential. So I'm wondering if because them just get up and just make some music and hope that something catch. Mm-hmm. Throwing things at a dartboard and anything stick. How many of them have teams in place, have a plan to get from point A to point B? How many of them have a plan? How many of them look at Kabaka Pyramid, who's won a Grammy, and say, "Wow, hold on.
What did he do that I need to?
Hold on.
Yeah.
How do I get there? Or am I just going to get up and jump on the next thinly made, unimaginative beat and just voice a song and hope that it rack up some views?" You can't continue to live your career depending on online views.
That ain't real.
And you yourself will know, I've made 20 songs in the last 6 months. Mm-hmm. How many of these have become potential household favorites? Then buzz for 2 weeks and then on to the next. Check what you're doing.
Yeah.
Make less, write better. Take a little longer to make a better song.
Right.
And have a plan going forward as to what your aim and your objective is. Producers, beat makers, you got to make your way back to dancehall.
Wow.
Because what you're doing, no. And you can't trash me, I don't know, because everybody's big and bad on social media. I'm just a little weak face. I'm an old Gen X has-been. And they're probably going to see this and say, "Sure, oh man, shut up and allow the youth them." And that's the problem. Shut up and allow the youth them. If our parents, it shut up and allow we.
Yeah. Yeah, it would.
So,
it would have been a different
we
world.
have worked too hard as a culture to put ourselves on the map where now there is real present imminent danger of us diminishing further even in the Grammys.
Facing extinction.
Because a sound from Africa, which borrows and depended heavily on our thing, is now the darling of the dance. And them not see that. And after 5 to 6 to 7 years of what we're doing now, of the dominant sound being this something, and this heavy refusal to make dancehall beats, I mean, I beat up on the beat makers.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that if this becomes the thing that the lyricists, the Valiants, the Skanks, all of these youths who are very talented, if this becomes, it's in them DNA, you know. Don't tell me that them can't write them rhythm there. Yeah. It's in them DNA.
Yeah.
If we get, and nobody's asking you to make back the 90s. There's so much that is there now, so many sounds, so much technology. You can put on different clothes on that skeleton. Because that's what it is. Dancehall is a skeleton. It's how you dress it up. And that's what generations have been doing.
It's the same thing with hip-hop and R&B. No matter how
them
modern it becomes,
problems too, you know.
they have, but the ones that maintain it is the same thing you said just now. The skeleton remains.
Put on different clothes.
The same. Different clothes, cloak it up however you want to cloak it up, make it whatever you want to make it. But the backbone.
If when it come out of the studio, nobody don't have to explain to the global ear what dancehall is. Yeah. You hear it. And let me say this again. The dominant sound out of Jamaica now, I keep saying the dominant sound because dancehall still a make. The dominant sound out of Jamaica now is not it. No. Let's not kid ourselves. Don't hide no head, stick no head in the sand like ostrich. It is not it. Your favorite artist, youngsters who go online and like these things, and the ones who, XYZ never disappoint, who agree? Because that's a popular comment on YouTube. It is not dancehall. And once again, let me repeat, nobody's asking you to go back and dig up the 90s.
Yep.
But be influenced by it, be guided by it. You're all smart, you have technology, you have sounds, you have everything that Joe Gibbs never have.
Yep.
Make Jamaican music that sounds Jamaican but is not dated.
Yeah.
We have the minority who's doing it, so it is possible. We need for the real skanking, rubber-dubby, sexy shape dancehall music to become the dominant thing. Ain't nobody saying you can't infuse a little hip hop in your thing. It's always been done.
You know, it's funny you mentioned.
We stop make dancehall, we make hip hop.
We are trying to make hip hop. The funny thing is when I hear, because every time some other people who are not us put out the music and it's successful, our folks complain and say, they might take what we think, right? But you see, when I listen to the music that comes out of Jamaica, and someone asked me in an interview the other day, why I was being interviewed and they asked me, why do I think, the artists that do whatever? Sometimes I say, I think they're bored. Because a lot of times, because we grew up on something and we're constantly into something, it's no different from, where's the diaspora? If I go to Jamaica, I can't selfish, I want, you know what I mean? But a lot of people who are there every day, they want them Starbucks. You know what I mean? I said, them want something else. And maybe I'm bored. I don't want to knock them. But when I listen to the music that we're complaining about, the people that take away things, you know what they're doing? They're doing the thing that we are aborting. When you talk about the music that come out of Fiji, the West Coast, the UK, the ones that we are griping and complaining, say, the money might take what we think, right? They are doing what we are refusing to do, which is the real
One
deal.
thing stay too long, serving that money.
No. I know when the man they take things, them they get back in. Look on the United States of America, the Indians ain't getting it back in. So once them take it. Now, I let me ask you, have you seen this? Because I've seen this. We think about the influence right now. We say the youth, right? And we say, boy, we need the elders them to have an effect on the youth, influence the youth. But the most disappointing thing for me nowadays is when we see the elders them being influenced by the youth. If we're going to make something. Because some of my favorite artists them drop something over there and I say, geez.
Because they want to be hip and trendy. They want to be liked by the it maybe they want to be liked by the youths. Maybe they are by default folding to what is current, and I can't beat them up for that.
Right.
Disappointing is it? Yes, but if this is also being put in their and they want to connect with the young generation because it is perceived that is a data run things, then yeah, naturally it is going to happen. I would want for them to hold ground and continue, because most of the stuff that they think is why a disagreement, it's not passing harbor view.
Yeah.
It not touch, it not even, it not walk up no plane step.
No visa.
No. So I don't want to criticize the oldsters, but yeah, it's something that approach with caution,
right,
where that is concerned. I just don't want for us to slip any further down with this music. With, soca would want to achieve that place that the Jamaican sound has achieved.
Yeah.
If them ever get a foot through the door,
yeah,
Africa come do it.
Yeah.
And so I'm just saying to all those involved, to the grown men who are saying, I see him also when me are the youth under there fight me. Stop the damn foolishness. That's a lie. That is a lie. That is a lie. Artist X, nobody was dragging you. In fact, your music was being played on the radio. Grown men come up to me. Yeah, but I see him also I see him also radio. Rubbish. Rubbish. How me hear Gold Spoon on the radio? How me hear Wife by Josie Step Up on the radio? How did all of these songs be? Nobody was...
Right.
And like I said at the start of this is the first time in the history of music where actually every street corner stop and I say,
something all right.
We need to be concerned.
Right. Yeah.
It's not out of hatred for the young generation or anything. It's just that the product has been thrown aside. And some people will make excuses. Grown men again. Yeah, but you don't know the youth them and is it older the elders them? Okay, I don't know where the disconnect came in.
It's hypocrisy because most of the people
I don't know where the disconnect
I hear
came
say that
in.
when them sitting in front of me, them say something different. I think, like you said, trying to get the favor from the youths, trying to be cool with the youths, they'll say that on a camera. Because I've heard many artists say that on a camera or on something. And when I
say loud the youths, right?
Yeah, loud
and
youths.
when you talk to them one way, they're like, no, this wrong.
Yep. Because they don't want to be on the bad side of that. Just in case.
Not many of us are willing to say, I am. I look, drag me. I have nothing to lose.
Stop it.
Drag me. I'll still be employed to Radio Jamaica. But I have to speak the truth because I am concerned.
So am I.
About this left turn, this hard right turn.
Yeah.
That our product, the Jamaican product, has made.
Yeah.
And every well-thinking person should be concerned. Now, if we have to coax the youth them back to that direction or shout after them, something has to give. But I believe that it's not a lack of the talent for these youngsters to make. And I don't care about a feed them kind of music. No. We want to make Jamaica's kind of and they have the talent to do it.
Yeah.
Once again, beat makers, Uno, trap, the catch, because Malidan, I'm sure he's not making his own beats.
Yeah. And they've been getting away with that for a hot minute, the producers.
And even if he is, then,
more power to him.
I just think I don't know if the business needs intervention. But what I do know is that I never in my life saw the previous generation call the younger generation and say, see the manuscript, you see. You learn by osmosis,
right?
By respect for the culture, respect for that which predated you, by being willing to immerse it. It's like a young youth who wants to pick up DJing. If he is if he's not willing to look beyond music. That is beyond music that surpasses his date year.
Right.
He's going to go so far and no further.
Yeah.
And in fact, some of the music that he's now consuming has a DNA of that which his grandfather used to listen to.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know where the disconnect is. Maybe the youth, them just not interested in that. Maybe it's just a new attitude that I feel them thing. And me only know them man, me not busy with, but them man the way you say you don't know about. It's the one who shaped the one who you grudgingly.
Yeah.
See them on the entertainment show them, you know.
Yep. Factual thing.
Oh, you rate Sizzler, which you should. But you don't know nothing about Yellow Man.
Wow. Who Sizzler? Rate to the ground. So your favorite artist, you don't know. You just stop at your favorite artist.
And to couple it off, you care not to investigate. You're not interested. You just steal all that off. Forget that. Because our way is the way. And that is part of the prevailing attitude.
You know, there's
that are all time something. That are not our thing. And the youths them time now.
And they say it with such confidence. You know, when there was a time when your ratings used to come from knowing the elders. Your ratings used to come from being able to say to you, say, boy, yeah man, me talk to Yellow Man.
Our time
I
now.
know Yellow Man. Huh? Used to be.
How did we get here? That's the part where we can't work out.
Yeah.
How did we get to where so many of the very talented young practitioners are just so completely dismissive of their history and are so disregarding of the authenticity of the sound of Jamaica, that you choose to make knockoff America and call it dancehall music?
And then,
how dare you?
Yeah.
You disrespect your country. How the hell can you make hip-hop and call it dancehall? It's either it's dancehall or trap. Neither shall the twain meet.
Yeah. I feel you on that. And guess what? We need
Nonsense,
we need this message out there, because again, here's the funny thing about it. You know, see, a lot of them, because sometimes when we say these things, we expect the pushback, you know. But I'm going to give them some credit. A lot of them are going to listen to what you're saying right now, and they're going to put some merit into it. Because at the end of the day, again, you travel further than their music have, and the music is an MP3. You know what I'm saying? And you're physically going further than their music have gone. I see, or as I talk to people say on radio there's an implicit bias for reggae over dancehall. Speak to that for me. Is it so? Is there an implicit bias when it comes to radio in favor of reggae over dancehall?
Not where I work. I think it's balanced. But I have heard talk of, I can speak to Jamaica, where, the practitioners, the on-air people, they would rather play the reggae is too sane. Because unfortunately, radio, in a lot of instances, has come to mimic the sound system. And the practices of the street, that too has been an ongoing problem. The practice of the street has made itself on air.
Right.
You know, I can only control what I do when I'm on. I don't play dub plate on radio because I believe it's a sound system thing. I don't talk like because then when I go out there to play in the public, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. But radio and it's how it disseminates content needs to be radio.
Right.
And stop trying to ape or imitate another thing. But yes, there are practitioners who, I don't know what it is, maybe it's the energy and the feel of dancehall, maybe it's livelier, maybe them think that reggae have enough vibes for the radio. I don't know when radio become about vibes.
Right.
Because you know what's funny? I used to say, and I often ask some youths on radio, yeah, but why, when somebody works on a 3-minute song, bust them tail to make this song, and it's a perfect piece of art that they present to you, why you only play 16 bars of it and you pepper it with sound effects and noise? Because you have to hype it up. However, because you believe that the youth or the person listening is not going to enjoy said song. Worse if it's a reggae song.
Right.
Because you have to hype it up. One, you open up the CD player or the media player to wide. So the song comes into you at 83 beats per minute. And you're playing it at 113.
Right.
So it sounds super fast.
Right.
Because you have to vibes it up.
Right.
Now that same song is on YouTube. And as some good songs, genuinely good songs do, they slip through the cracks and get 10 million views.
Right.
That same song is played to its full length on YouTube. 10 to 20 million views. That same song has nary a sound effect in it. Yet 20 million people go watch it.
At the right tempo.
That same song is played based on, to the best of our knowledge.
Right.
Nobody's going to do the plus 2 times 3 on YouTube. It is played at its normal speed.
Right.
That same youngster that you think you have to do all sort of madness to make the music attractive on a radio is going on Spotify and is listening to the same playlist every day. The songs play full length, normal speed, and he doesn't get bored or drop off of the face of the earth because Jesus is... So what's radio's excuse? I keep asking, what is your excuse for only playing 10 seconds of the song? What's your excuse for noising it up? When you do that to a song that somebody work on, it's like walking into that famous museum in France, looking at the Mona Lisa and throw paint on it. With your bag of and speed up and answer that. And I keep asking, if the song is on YouTube,
Right.
and 30 million people can go and watch it, start to end, or watch it at its normal speed, what is your excuse
Have you gotten an answer yet?
for moving it from 83 to 113 on the radio?
Have you gotten an answer yet?
No, I won't.
I hear the complaints all the time.
A lot of bad habits are out there.
Listen, I did a rant 2 years ago, right? To this day, I am giving tickets to the venue every time, but the rant was pretty much this. It was an event, big up Grooving, the park is Grooving.
Yeah.
They had about 5 DJs on. The music was from the 80s, I think 70, 80, 90,
Right.
can't pass 2000.
Yeah.
But that was not what made it so spectacular. No microphones. Not one mic, not up there.
And
Music.
to put a punctuation mark. On the street, a great DJ, a mixer, when he has an intelligent and smart MC who complements the music,
Right.
instead of bully it and overtalk
with
it,
it, yep.
it takes it to another level. So I would be the last person to knock
Having the-
somebody using the microphone. But if I go up there and every song me I cut and scratch it, I'm going to annoy the audience. If every song you have to think, say, the song must only play for 10 seconds while you talk for 30. Well, maybe I should shut off the music and you talk and see who dance. So everything in good measure. But back to the initial thing, I think dancehall is such an energetic and such a fun type of music that maybe a lot of the youngsters who are on radio just find themselves, and it probably boils down to loose in-house rules and structure in that radio station where people can just go astray of format, and or maybe it's just in some radio stations forget reggae, it's too conscious, it's too cerebral, it's too slow. But then, you know, if you're going to operate your radio station like it's a dance here, then reggae is going to get ignored.
Yeah.
The ironic thing about it is that many dances I go is reggae shell the place.
The dance itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that's what I don't get, because especially in a time when people are taking people from the dance and bringing them to radio, right? I realize that I feel like they bring the bad habits, but they don't bring the music.
and if you get, I have always been one to say a street selector. If you train him right, he can be a very able
Radio
presenter on radio. But I think dancehall is such a fun half of the Jamaican sound that, yeah, people, maybe radio stations program them thing to play more of it and less of the reggae side. I think there ought to be a balance, because radio is not really designed to keep a party.
Right.
It's a listening experience
Right.
that you're offering people. And when broadcast houses go back to that and understand that not every show needs also to be a mixed show, you can play songs out to the end. Then maybe we'll have a balance. But you are right. It has become obvious that there is a little bit of a hesitancy
Right.
to play reggae. There's more enthusiasm to play the hardcore boop boop
Keeping the attention.
and
if you
because and all of that depends on A, station's mandate and style, and B, whether or not the radio station are governed the right way.
Right.
Yeah.
There's rules everywhere, and sometimes the line is blurred.
Yeah.
We talk about the legends all the time, right? And I speak of the enigma that is Barry Hammond. I don't think we'll ever see another Barry Hammond. However, if Barry decides that I'm going to go up on vacation for the rest of his life right about now, who are you giving that to?
You know, I believe we have some really capable youths out there who are not even quietly. Who I was on the Welcome to Jamrock cruise. I see them. I see them. All right. Bob Marley's two sons, Damien and Stephen.
Yep.
Listen, man.
Yep.
I think the international space knows gang and raga.
Crazy.
I don't even know how to describe the kind of beasts they are.
Yeah.
At one time, I remember me did open my mouth and people beat me bad. That Damian Marley, Junior Gang, was the greatest reggae dancehall act alive. So people send me to nether parts of my family tree.
But it's facts, though.
But look, if you've ever seen them, so they are those. There are, we mentioned a crapper artist who formed what was referred to at some point as the reggae revolutionists.
Yeah.
We know them, Chronix, who's been quiet for a little while.
Yeah.
But maybe sometimes you need to take a break and not be just spilling up. Your protege is
He's doing the same. Jesse.
It's a Jesse Royal.
Oh, yeah.
So understated. Kabaka Pyramid has won a Grammy. We have really capable on the dancehall side. We have some talented youth.
Yeah.
We spoke about Dexter.
Yeah.
You say Massacre.
The youth, they're sick.
No,
Yeah.
let me just say that he is possibly of the new generation. I don't want to
He ain't.
pick a preference,
Yeah.
but that youth
You
is
Massacre?
really special. Massacre?
Yeah, Massacre
Him not normal special, brother.
Massacre is the future.
He is absolutely sick. And then you have the ones who in 10 years are going to approach legend. Busy, Donia, that crap, Conscience, that crap. They're still young men doing it and leading the new school. So, man, there's not an there's not a lack of an abundance of talent. Our crisis right now is to start making back beats and grooves that sound Jamaican.
Right.
And I believe that I keep coming back to it, to the beat makers, please offer Skeng, Valiant, offer them some genuine banging rubber dubby.
Because I think they can handle it.
What?
I think they can handle it. Definitely.
Look, these guys have gotten something that one of the rhythms that come the closest to the center of reggae, and that is Big Bunks. It has nuances, not completely, but it's a modern,
a modern take on it,
and they murder it.
Yeah. So it can be done.
It can be done.
It can be done.
Stop making hip hop. That's
not our thing.
If anybody take away one thing from what I'm saying, crazy talented youths out there, and it may sound initial like with a beat. No, when people now do them homework, you have to sit them around the table and say do your homework. They are talented,
yeah,
but I am beating up without apology on the beat makers.
Yeah.
Right on, go back, man. Go listen back to some of the things them and finding a way back to center. This is center of dancehall. Let's make something that don't sound like is like a trying 10-year-old in our basement in America. I try make that.
The quality assurance.
I understand. I mean, the music. I think this forced change that we're shoving on the audience now. And yes, some of them will love, yeah, the new thing. But if you feed a prince pig's will long enough, he learned to think it's caviar.
Yeah. That's true.
So, you know.
That is so true.
Of course the kids are going to say, wow, this is good. But bro.
But obviously, it doesn't connect enough for them to go get it because, like you said, you got the five. Because what people sell nowadays is not the music.
You go buy a record at Aquarius?
Me?
Well, you probably.
I'm an Ochi man. We used to buy records.
You used to buy a record?
Yeah.
You used to take up your money and buy the Fufu record?
Nah, I can't.
So it's the same thing now. You go to YouTube and look at it and listen to it and rack up the views.
But I ain't spending
If you
money
had to
on
buy
record,
it,
no.
would you?
No.
That's a question that is escaping for the youths them.
But they're not selling music anymore. They're selling the story and the hype and the whatever, which is, again, it goes back to what you're saying.
Somebody was about me a stream. How much?
Because it's you them.
How much
it's
you
you,
pay for
it's
a
not the
stream?
music. It's you them come check out, you know.
How much you pay for your stream?
Jano, ladies and gentlemen, we have to have the conversation. It's very, very necessary. And again, we got to talk to those people who are qualified to speak on the subject. I'm going to ask you this. You mentioned a while ago the Marleys, right?
The who? Yeah.
The Marleys.
Yeah.
Gang, Stephen. Personally, I think
Actually, all of them.
Kimani's a
They
tremendous
all
talent.
there,
Julian, the whole of them.
We also talk about the two mega beggars.
Yeah, we're going to keep it right there.
Ziggy's a mega star.
Ziggy done transcended the genre.
But he's a grown man.
He's getting his grown man thing on right
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
I mean, children books and whatnot.
Yeah.
I've heard people talk about from as long as I'm growing up and listen to reggae. Who are the next? Me and them say Garnet Silk, right? Me and them say one time I says the Kalanji. The closest thing I've seen to Bob, but I've never heard anybody compare him to Bob and say him are the next Bob.
Is who?
Stephen.
Is who?
Stephen. I have never. Why? How come nobody has ever said, are him are the next Bob?
And I've also compared Damien.
The only reason I take Damien out of
His
the
father.
comparison is because of the fact that I put him in a dancehall. And my thing, I still somebody underrated it. I think
Yes,
Damien
Stevie.
does dancehall so well, people think he's a reggae artist.
Yeah.
He does dancehall so well, people think he's a reggae artist.
There will never be another Bob Marley. Can never be. Never ever be. And his offsprings with their talent, which clearly come from him,
Right?
are just charting their own paths. So it's each generation kind of like have its own stand up. Bob Marley died for 40 how much years ago?
When Bob did 19,
42? Huh?
almost 40 years.
When Bob 42 years.
42 years ago.
42?
We still speak of him in the present tense. He died in 1981.
May 11.
We still speak of him in the present tense because that music
Yeah.
is so transcendent.
It's like brand new.
So I've always said it's unfair to compare in terms of greatness the artisan of one generation to the next. I don't compare Jordan to
LeBron and
LeBron because
Hey, I can't do
it's
that.
two different times and two different. So now you look for in the last 25 years who's been the standout. Pick your choice, but there will never be another Bob Marley,
and people
we shouldn't try to have another Bob Marley.
But
There'll
every
never
time
be
the
another
conversation
Usain
comes
Bolt.
up, though, you know, every time because while we shouldn't, the conversation comes up.
It comes up, yeah.
But I've always wondered how come nobody ever says Steve, because to me, catalog wise, that's the closest thing.
Who's that?
Steven.
Oh, he's a beast. Well, we call him all like a beast.
So Jano,
There will never be another Buju Banton.
that too,
There will never be another Beres Hammond,
never.
who I believe ought to be put on a higher pedestal. Freddie McGregor ought to be put on. Freddie McGregor is one of my favorite artists. Ought to be put on a high, but none of them. They are their own, and this is why we talk about them.
No, let's go back to the berries. They said should be put on a higher pedestal. By whom? Because I'm gonna tell you something.
By everybody.
Let me tell you something. For the diaspora, it's Jesus and then berries. You understand? For the diaspora, it's Jesus and then berries. And depending on what time of year it is, it might be closer than you think.
Maybe I'm being unreasonable because I think at home, the kind of pool, I talk youngsters, you know, it's going to go because Beres is on it. So maybe I'm being unreasonable. Maybe I just think that
He deserves more.
there should be a statue of him somewhere in the
Yeah,
country.
I agree with that. I
don't think we understand
I agree with that.
the value of Beres Hammond. I don't think we understand the value of Freddie McGregor. Ken Booth is going on in age. How many people stop and check
Yeah.
what he has done
Yeah.
for our culture?
Jimmy.
Jimmy Cliff
Yeah.
is an absolute legend.
When they think about Jimmy Clifton.
So
Barrington Levy.
So now there you go. So now we see it's futile to try to pick another Bob because he was just special, and all of these other names that we're mentioning are special. My challenge to the youngsters: 25, 30 years from now, how special will you be?
Yeah.
And once again, if you discolor and discombobulate reggae and dancehall, I'm just happy that there are enough of them to balance out. And we name them because we have some potential stars, we have some potential legends.
You see this
in
kid
the
there, Romeo and
making.
Virgo? You see Romeo and Virgo?
It's a Christopher Martin.
Is it Christopher Martin? Here's the thing when I look at the two artists, I'm going to say this. Christopher Martin, what I have to give him credit for is this. Whatever is going on right now, he's
doesn't
in
go
it.
wrong. Everything.
And I've never heard a bad Christopher Martin
No.
song yet. Right?
No.
But Romain gives me berries in terms of Romain gives me 30 years from now, we're going to be speaking about him just like we speak of Beres. We're going to see him with the
It's
reverence.
just like we speak of Beres and Sanchez.
She go pull up our Sanchez right about now. Sanchez, we get that statue too.
Yeah.
I said this, I was talking to Bobby Digital right here. I said to Bobby, I think that majority of the people who reggae singers that came after Sanchez never learned to sing. They learned to Sanchez. You know what I mean? They were giving you their best Sanchez version.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sanchez is the first person me hear up on stage, and I was wondering where the background singers are. Because the man vocal is so pure that you hear harmonies and I hear him want to sing.
So when you talk about an artist who is understated, because those of high IQ rate him and know say
man.
he is cream of the crop.
Yeah.
Sanchez is so understated that, like the others we named before, ought to be put on a pedestal.
Sanchez is a cult classic.
Yeah.
Sanchez is like one of the movies that's, everybody got the bootleg version of it. You know what I mean? It went triple platinum, but it was the bootleg version that got
Because you
sold.
couldn't get the real.
Because you couldn't get the real.
Yeah. You have to have it somehow. So yeah.
Sanchez.
So we've had some greats, and we have some greats in the making, but at this current state, we have a crisis in the music as well. And we can't deny that. I mean, not care which man who is a musicologist and goes to the. I'm just a DJ and a broadcast practitioner, so I maybe don't know, but
What station you on these days?
Fame FM
And prior to that?
has always been Fame
Fame FM.
FM.
And prior to that?
has always been Fame
Okay,
FM.
so that means you've been-
32 Lyndhurst Road has been my home.
For the past how long?
29
I
years.
think you're qualified to speak on this, is what I'm getting at. You know what I mean? I think you're qualified
So
to speak on this.
we have a crisis. Your ears don't fool you. If what you're hearing does not sound, has taken a right turn from something that you can pick from 2010, we have a crisis. If you notice, we're not complaining about 2010.
No.
Of course the music was vulgar. Of course Cartel was saying something that made grown women clutch their pearls.
Right. But it was balanced.
But you can't deny it was dancehall.
Yeah.
We're at a point now where you and I and many others watching this, sticking them head in the sand and pretending that we're not at the truth. You know
Yeah.
that a significant slice, too significant a slice of the content hitting the space is hip hop. It's not dancehall.
Yeah.
And the only thing remotely Jamaican about it, as I said before, is the voice on it. We need to fix that.
And they're trying to earn the respect of the hip hop fan and the hip hop crowd. And the truth is, I don't see it happening because the music is
won't
not
happen.
hip hop. It's not hip hop enough to be hip hop.
Just like how we scoff at somebody who attempts to make dancehall and it sound half baked. I'm saying, well, I might try.
Yeah.
Now they're getting better at it.
They're getting better at it than we are getting at the hip hop.
Because let me say this before I leave. Reggae, Jamaican music, which is reggae and dancehall, because I think they're one and the same, basically. Semantics, reggae is reggae, dancehall, reggae and dancehall. It was birthed from the womb of Jamaican culture. It is now a child of the world.
Yeah.
That should flatter us beyond belief that we put something at that little rock where we come from.
The
Put
world
something
loves
out
it.
there. Rastafarianism is one of Jamaica's great contribution to the world. Our food. That's something that what we call patois.
Yeah.
That's 3.
Yeah.
And our music.
Music.
We're falling down
Yeah.
on the music. And the music is a big one because the most popular Jamaican of all time still remains Bob Marley. Bolter sprinted on him, come.
He coming up. And guess
But-
what? I think all of them deserve what they got.
And apart from reggae, the most popular form of Jamaican genre out there that still exists is ska.
It's scare. The unfortunate thing is, I know where to do it. It's funny.
That's a
there's
different
many ska bands.
conversation
Yeah,
now.
so many
Yeah,
ska bands out there,
yeah,
and it ain't us. You know something that I've wondered about, especially recently too, is the female artists.
Yeah.
The conversation when we start talking artists, we cherry pick. We got to cherry pick, and we got to figure out who are. And there's some dope female vocalists.
Do
out there.
you have any notion? Because I don't have any notion as to why there has not been at any point. Why is the female presence so underwhelmed?
in the whole space?
Throughout the you can pick out the great women, but the great men are just so
Different space.
So is Jamaican music a testosterone driven culture? Why is it that currently you can pick only 5 or 4 dominant young females while you can pick 10 times that number of men? I don't have the answer for that, but it is. Should we be worried about it, or is it just what it is?
I think it's always been that way though. Even back in the day when the legend. All right, when we talk about our Queen Marcia Griffiths, there wasn't a lot of others, right? There were, but they were there, but not as dominant as the male presence.
Them never come in a bungle.
No.
Not great. But
Exactly.
when they came, they were special.
They were special.
Yeah.
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 The thing is, when it comes to the females selling music in general, I personally feel that overall, because every genre you go into, you do find that the female presence is a little light. I personally have always felt like what it is when men write music, women can sing it too. When women write music, men can't sing it. All right. So when a man sing a song and them say, "Boy, girl, me love you," we hear the girl, them like, "Oh, girl, me love," them I sing it too. When a woman say, "Boy, I love you," no man in that crowd now sit not going to repeat it. So I always felt like when women made music, it was really for a female audience. When men make music, it's for everybody.
Honestly, that question, that whole issue is a googly to me. I don't know which way the delivery going to turn on that one, because I have thought about it.
Right.
Why have we not had at any point 30 women
Right. It's never happened.
who are just alpha females of the business, but we've had 3 or 4 special ones.
Right.
But I don't know.
And it's not the talent. It definitely ain't the talent.
No. I don't know.
Jano. What's the for commercial radio space, especially here, a lot of the music that goes on is really chosen by the program directors, right?
Mm-hmm.
When in the Jamaican music space for radio, is it the same, or does the DJs have more autonomy on what goes?
It depends on the media house. I know where I work. I am the music director, and so I function somewhat as never as a singer, but as a quality control person. So if an artist is on a rhythm and he's never made a radio version, and your song is laced with profanities, I'm not going to sit down and edit something that you never intended to be on radio, and you know what, to be on radio and make it radio playable once, because we are now at that stage where we kind of just say, pull the brakes on this. You have, as a practitioner for years, you become a tastemaker, and you can usually tell, even if it sounds weird and wonky to you, but you can tell whether or not it's going to resonate with the audience, even if it's something that you personally don't like. In my job, you go and turn on the radio, a beat trap dancer. Somebody right now is probably on the radio playing, because we take it, because it is the music of it's not, but it once it passes certain check boxes, and the most important thing is how well produced it is, and how free is it from profanity and certain type of, is it preaching certain types of messages, like so. That's what we have in house. It has to be something which a mother and her child can safely listen to. Now, if a song comes out and it has a little one word here, and you're like, okay, fine, good song, but you really and truly look for production value, whether or not if this person sound like them howling. No, we're not going to play that. If you, as a broadcast manager, you hear somebody playing something, you want to hold that, make it. You're going to ask questions.
Yeah.
So quality control is an internal thing for each broadcast house. Lyndhurst Road, we have our own checks and balances, and it doesn't matter if you're known or a superstar, or if you're a young and fledgling artist. If the song sounds good, it's airplayable,
it'll get played.
It's going to be programmed. What you find will tend to force your hand is that there's so much content. You have to be more now careful in how you sift, because you can't add 20 songs this week and then add 20 songs next week and then you fail in your mission to play something often enough,
right, for it to
to break, because then you're always replacing that song that you just said. It's only 24 hours a day.
What you said a while ago, so I think I don't think they get that though. The whole concept of the saturation of music that comes through, and there's no way, even if you were to, because if you're on radio for if you count the minutes and divide it by the amount of songs you're getting, majority of them still can't get played.
There's an oversupply. There's an oversupply, and as a good radio practitioner, you cannot just start to play God's song, which you say, oh, okay, this is well made, and it may strike a chord, and worse, you do your look a check, you go to the other places and you see that, ooh, okay, people are cottoning to this. Now, you only have 10 songs for the day, let's say.
Right.
That in the programming day, you were only allowed to play 10 songs. And next week, you get 15 more. how much chance have you given his song?
Yeah.
Because one spin ain't gonna break it.
Ain't gonna do nothing. Yeah.
And so that there is that challenge. There's so much content that comes at you. People get vexed and they hear them song on the radio, but it's no boiling down to Darwinism. How good is it?
Right.
Can you knock off something off? And does your song deserve to get play at the expense? Because content is going to replace content. Part of radio's mandate, which I think we have forgotten, is not every time you play something for the first time, everybody's going to hear it. If it's not repeated. American radio does that to a gross extent.
Yep.
In Jamaica, I don't think we do it often enough.
Yeah.
And we can strike that sweet spot where, yes, it's heavy rotation, but it's not clawing.
Right.
And you can't just play a song for 2 weeks and think, sure, that all get some money.
Yeah.
You bore the audience, because if each time I tune in, I'm not hearing something which I was growing to like, or which I already like, because you're playing half or off.
Yeah.
Things I've never heard before. May I drive? May I listen to you?
And there you have it. Thank you so much for tuning in. It has indeed been a pleasure. Please be sure to subscribe to the podcast, Homegrown G-Cole. It's available on iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, TuneIn,
it's a delicate
Spotify,
line.
iHeartRadio,
Radio
wherever
practitioners
you
need to be aware of this. You can't just come on.
Also, follow us on social media at My G-Cole, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and subscribe to the Homegrown with G-Cole YouTube channel. All right? To see the video of this, go on to YouTube. It is there. Remember, be safe, be kind, and be good to each other. My name is G-Cole.
But I don't think radio messes that up as much as the expectations of, because I've had that conversation too, because it is the rules of radio.
Yeah.
You're not really supposed to play more than two songs that are new back to back, right?
Yeah.
But artists want to hear.
It's a guiding
Remember, all the
principle.
music
It's a
played
guiding
here on the
principle.
podcast, Homegrown
Now,
G-Cole, is available on
a question
iTunes,
that people have
Spotify,
always asked
Apple
is
Music,
when it
and
comes to the
all
music
your
that is
digital
played on
providers. Please support the
Is
artist.
it more so that you find the music, or does the artist have to figure out how to get the music to you?
Less of the current generation. Oftentimes, the producers and those who are involved in the making of a song, they will send it. They email it. There are some artists
They're not.
from whom I've never gotten a songs because they couldn't give two hoots.
About radio.
But when you have young DJs who want to play the music, because, you know, part of that too is for people to listen to them, and it helps their rep out there because they work on the streets. That you get the music.
Right.
But we need to get back to the point where in your promotional consideration, it may not be in your consciousness, you may not be aware of it, but radio helps your brand. So we need to get back to the place where artist X, artist Y, who is the social media junkie and the online junkie, also considers as part of his promotion radio.
Right.
And in many ways, it depends on which geographical region the radio station is and how much ratings you have. If a radio station from a European territory comes to Jamaica to do stuff,
They're all on it.
every artist who refuses
That's
to get
true.
up and come to my station,
That's true.
he's there.
That's
So-
true. That's true.
So it's also is a lack of ratings for your local broadcast house, because you figure say that's at the big market,
Yeah.
and you only there for Jamaica, but that little Jamaican radio station have reach.
Plus that station and that DJ from the European station, who you think them listen to?
All right, there you go.
That's where they get it from.
Yeah, yeah.
The other thing too is this: we talk about how the music gets there. I've heard people say, especially in South Florida, the radio stations in South Florida play a lot of Jamaican music in adverse to the artists at home, but it's not the same in terms of the Jamaican stations don't necessarily play a lot of the artists that are not from Jamaica. Is that an issue?
I've always found that to be slightly unfair. And once again, I can only speak from Lyndhurst Road's point of view. There was a point on Fame where 6 out of every 10 songs was a local station. It's just that seemingly, and this may be the same for other competing media houses, whether it's Grove Broadcasting or folks from Sandals.
Right.
It's not completely true for everybody. Maybe some are playing more foreign music than others, but I know that there are many stations that play more local than foreign. But the one time, if you play 15 minutes of foreign music, it seems like 15 hours to most of those who are listening. So it's almost like as if you always play foreign music, but it's not true. And you can walk into the station's studio and see the format. And most of the kids, they will adhere to it. And you will see it's either 50-50 or 60-40 in favor of Jamaican music. I've always found that to be not a fair comparison. And it comes from a lot of disgruntled people.
Right.
I don't believe it to be entirely true throughout all the media houses. Maybe there's an odd guilty party, but yeah. But
and it's probably heavy on those, because when you talk to J-Cap and them, they talk about the royalties that's paid out. 60% more. But I guess, like you said, it's probably heavily saturated and concentrated by particular stations.
You hear a hip hop song in Jamaica, I play for 1 minute, it sounds like, to those who have that perception, it sounds like it I play for 10 minutes. And so
because you're listening with
that implicit bias already saying, I'll not play. But you may have missed the last hour and a half where it was 2 segments of local content that was being played. So I don't know that is a really fair. I've heard the complaints.
Right.
It may be true in some cases, but I think most Jamaican radio stations default to playing more local content. I don't know why people think that.
Listen, it's always something. And ladies and gentlemen, we could sit here and talk about it forever. Let me say this, brother. First of all, thank you so much for taking the time to stop through and have a vibe. Again, I think it's very important that they hear from someone like yourself, right? Because a lot of people have microphones in front of them,
right,
that are not supposed to be speaking on the subject, right? Yeah. So thank you so much. Drop the social media for the masses so they can keep up with you.
Okay, so on Instagram, it's COLLIN, the Captain, HINES. On Twitter, I still call it that. My handle is, I think it's still EXMIX. Yeah, EXMIXAH. Or if you type in Collin the Captain Hines, you'll find me. On, what's the next one? TikTok. My daughter basically took over my channel. Oops, hold on. What is this? What I'm trying to find my handle on TikTok. It is Collin the Captain. COLLIN, the Captain.
But does she run it?
Yeah, she like all kind of foolishness. So people, more time I get notification, they're responding to her little 9-year-old comments. So she canceled hers and took over mine. But yeah, I'm on those main 2 things. Instagram, I mostly post stories, and on X or Twitter.
Right.
Yeah. Facebook too. It's type in the name.
Right.
Collin Hines, COLLINHINES. Very important. Or and you'll find me. I'm on Twitch as well.
You playing music on Twitch?
Yeah, man. I only play now on a Sunday morning. Ironically, I play soul music because it's a Sunday morning thing. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping to get back on that platform in a more meaningful way, because when the pandemic started, I was playing mostly reggae and dancehall.
Right.
So I'm on Twitch. My Twitch handle is, oh dear Jesus, Big G. You remember it? Well, I will tell you what my Twitch handle is. It's basically the same thing. It is, and I'm finding it right now, Collin the Captain Hines. Yes.
They keep it consistent.
Yeah, consistent. I just Twitter or X give me a beating. But if you type in the same name, you will see it filtered to mine. Yeah.
Big G, drop where your thing that other people can find it.
Speak up, man.
Yardmedia.com.
Yardmedia.com. As simple as that.
/big-g.
Big 2 G's.
And
that's
my BIG-G.
Okay.
And to my right is my DJ partner, DJ Lincoln.
DJ Lincoln.
Who spells his name with a Y.
So Lincoln with a Y.
What your handle again, Lincoln?
It's LYNKON. OFFICIAL. Lincoln Official.
And let me big up this youth now. He can do street because he works with a corporate entity in Jamaica, and then we do gigs together. But him head tough, but he also understands how to balance toasting with DJing. Because any one of those that you overdo, I always say, if I go and scratch every damn song, people deserve to fling things up there. Because ain't nobody coming to see me do back skins, scratch and boxing and tricks anymore. And ain't nobody come to hear him pull down every song and stop and give one epistle. and so, and look, that's something that I try to encourage for even the hardcore street DJs. Let the music be king. Toast, but don't overtop the music, because people hate it. It's a difference now when you're going to dance and clash.
Yeah, that difference.
There is an absolute necessity for that. Because if you can't talk, you'll get boo.
Yeah, that's that.
You deserve to get buckled too.
It's
but when you play at parties, scale back.
Yeah. And
complement the music with what you have to say. Don't bully it.
Let people enjoy the music.
Yeah.
Lincoln, drop the thing again. Drop the thing again.
Yeah, it's LYNKON. OFFICIAL. Lincoln Official.
Lincoln Official. You can't go wrong, you know. That's one thing I must say.
Instagram,
Yeah.
Yardmedia.com. Sunday Scoops.
Always dropping some knowledge and some legendary stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I know you guys had a good time, but trust me, it's been indeed a pleasure for me. So, only can send in a thank yous for the manhandle on social media. I'm going to give it right now. Thank you so much.
Bless up, brother.
For passing through.
Yeah, man.
Pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen,
we stir up some antness.
John, know what people are going about out here. Ladies and gentlemen, I drive the white Camry outside.
I don't drive.
The white car all the way to the back.
I hurt some feelings this evening, but hey, we have to speak the truth, and that's it. I'm not a hypocrite to this thing. I'm not trying to.
But we need it though.
Spare any feelings. Just talking it as we see it.
We need it.
And I could be wrong.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
And there you have it. Thank you so much for tuning in. It has indeed been a pleasure. Please be sure to subscribe to the podcast Homegrown with G. Cole, available now on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and all your podcast platforms. Also, please check out the website homegrownwithgcole.com for all things homegrown. Remember, be safe, be kind, and be good to each other. My name is G. Cole, and this is Homegrown.
Nakikinika sa música, Homegrown with G. Cole.
Estás escuchando Homegrown con G. Cole.
您现在正在收听的是 Homegrown with G. Cole.
You're listening to Homegrown with G. Cole.
Remember, all the music played here on the podcast Homegrown with G. Cole is available on iTunes, Spotify, and all your digital retailers. Please support the artists.